Hello and welcome to Rotary in Action. I'm your host, Marty Peters, and this special program today is about people that are making a difference in all of our communities. It's an organization called Rebuilding Together, and these are the men and women that make a difference for people that are less fortunate, that have had maybe some bad turns handed them in their lifetime. Rebuilding Together is a passionate program, and I'm privileged to have three special men and women that really do make a difference. When we come back, we'll share their special story about rebuilding together. Welcome back. It's a real privilege to have you here and share our special guest today. First guest is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Rick Clark. He's a Rotarian, and he's happened to been in our community and very involved as an architect with Rebuilding Together, and it's a privilege to have you here, Rick. Sherry Robinet is a bookkeeping accountant who's also in our community, who has spent numbers of years involved, and I want to hear some funny stories from you in a minute, but welcome to our special show.
Thank you.
And last and not least is a gentleman by the name of Johnny Simpson, who happens to be in the union business of management in unions. And Johnny, can't thank you enough. You're the current president, I think, and we're going to have some stories from you in a bit. But first, Rick, could you sort of tell me how this all got started? Give me a quick time frame of how this happened.
Sure. Rebuilding Together actually started as Christmas in April back in Midland, Texas, by a guy by the name of Bobby Trimble. He decided to have the old barn raising where they went over and helped a person that was in their congregation to fix up their home. And this kind of spread across country. In 1988, a lady by the name of Patty Johnson started Christmas in April USA to try to make this a national organization. And when we heard about it back in 1995, there were about 175 affiliates around the country. And here we are, the sixth largest, and had nothing like that here. So we established a board of directors, and the first year, 1996, we did 11 houses and one YMCA, and it's just grown from that point.
And that's just in the last 4 or 5 years.
7 years ago, yeah, we started.
So we've had that growth just here in our own little community. Is this going on all over the country? And how many other organizations are like the original Christmas in April? Are like 90 or 100? Or?
There are several hundred of them right now, and I think Sherry will probably share those numbers with you in a little while.
Well, we'll be right back, and I'd like to have you stick around. We'll be right back and have Sherry give us some information on how this has grown exponentially in our communities. We'll be right back.
San Diego, California, one of the most beautiful cities in America. Gorgeous beaches, sparkling bays, colorful parks, unique amusement activities, active nightlife, and of course, ideal year-round climate. The city is the envy of visitors from every corner of the globe as they marvel at the cool summers, moderate winters, and wonderful sunshine. However, like other cities and towns throughout our nation, San Diego has a darker side. Thousands of elderly, disabled, and low-income homeowners find it impossible to afford any upkeep and maintenance on their homes. These fixed-income residents are burdened with the rising cost of living and escalating medical expenses. They find it difficult to exist on their poverty-level resources. These homes are in desperate need of plumbing, electrical, and carpentry repairs, and many have no heat. Most can use a thorough cleaning and painting inside and out. The occupants can only dream of someday living in warmth, safety, and independence. In the summer of 1995, a small group of concerned San Diego citizens met to investigate some solutions to this growing challenge in our society. They were introduced to a national organization called Christmas in April USA, which had been founded in 1972 to assist these homeowners in their time of need. Affiliates were scattered in cities and towns across America to help make dreams come true. A local program was established. 11 homes and a YMCA were renovated on one Saturday in April 1996. The number of projects have increased annually. Some work has even expanded to other times of the year. There is no charge to the homeowner. The organization's name has evolved into Rebuilding Together, but the objective remains the same. Thousands of homes are renovated nationwide each year by hundreds of thousands of volunteers. The primary one-day event occurs in April, but countless hours of planning and preparation are necessary to ensure the program runs smoothly. During the summer and early fall prior to each April workday, requests for house nominations are distributed to housing authorities, religious institutions, and other local organizations. Any citizen may refer a potential home. The projects are screened by volunteer Rebuilding Together board members to ensure that they meet eligibility requirements. The work scope is defined for each site. Meanwhile, additional board members recruit house sponsors to provide funds and labor for the homes. The sponsors include private businesses, financial institutions, service clubs, and charity organizations. House captains, volunteer coordinators, and family ambassadors are selected and assigned to each location. As the workday approaches, tools and materials are gathered and transported to the sites. The volunteers assemble, and the work begins, all to demonstrate the power of the dream.
Sherry, after watching this tape, it's just amazing to see the energy of these people. What keeps you coming back? It must be very exciting. Tell us about it.
It is very exciting because there's nothing that you can even begin to contemplate. That you go to a home and you look at the way that these people are living, and by the time you leave at the end of the day, you have just transformed that home and made it someplace that they can be proud to live, and they can live in comfort and safety and warmth. And that feeling alone is enough to make you come back year after year.
I love the listing of Christmas in April because I think it was such a terrific gift, but I like Rebuilding Together too. But that was a very special project, and anybody that's been involved has felt that way. Johnny, when you got involved, what drew you into this? Was there some unique thing that happened, or was it somebody just asked you?
Well, actually, I think Sherry asked me to come in. I'm with the Electricians Union, and we got a call from her when she was president. And she asked me to come take a look at a place for her and explain the charity to us. And after we did a couple in the first year, after that, more and more of our members began to get involved. I mean, today we've got up to 150 electricians volunteering on the day of the event.
That's
so
astounding.
it's turned out pretty nice, and as Sherry said, it's a very warm feeling for all of us to be able to give back a little to the community.
You know, I look at this as an opportunity, and I was blessed with Rotary to be involved with our Rotary Club. But Rick, could you tell us about some of the organizations that have been involved with it, like electrical contractors and real estate companies, or how does this work? How does a company get involved?
Each house is actually sponsored by an organization or a company, and there are a lot of banks, savings and loans, real estate companies, Rotary clubs, as you say, other service clubs, and they put in some monies for the materials, and then they get the people out there to actually work. And most of them haven't had any of this experience before. You know, we got a lot of professionals and business people and so
That's
forth.
me.
They have never held a paintbrush, some of them.
Right.
And they get out there, and it's a building process that everybody just truly enjoys.
Well, the one thing that I thought was unique is that I saw some companies like a real estate firm or a construction company, and their employees that have been in behind desks all weeks long come out there, and all of a sudden they have this team building that brings them, I think, closer together. Sherry, any comments or?
Absolutely. They are working alongside the president of the company and the mailroom clerk. And they're wearing a T-shirt. They're not. Nobody is president. Nobody is mailroom clerk. They're all hammering and painting and having a really wonderful time. For that, as we say, we're rebuilding our community one house at a time, and we absolutely are.
Yeah, it's magic to see it. Johnny, when you got involved, how did you rope in all these people in the union? Was it just an easy call, or did everybody?
Well, we started out. We made a couple of calls to some of the guys that were around, and just kind of told everybody to be on a Saturday. And then the word kind of spread, and we were actually pretty surprised at how many people were willing to donate their time. Now I don't even. We've been doing it for so many years. We've adopted it as our local union charity, and I don't even really have to ask. I just say this is the day of the event, and we have 150 guys show up in the parking lot ready to donate their time. And our employers, our contractors donate service trucks and material and everything that we need. But our charity, it surprises me every year how many people actually come out. There's probably, well, I think we average a little over 2,000 people each year on event day. And it's not all skilled labor. It's not all electricians and plumbers and iron workers, and it's people that, you know, as you heard earlier, I mean, they can hold a paintbrush, they can help clean the yard, they can do anything that needs to be done on these homes. And it's just a lot of fun, and everybody has a good time, and it's a lot of hard work, but everybody has a great time, and it's very worthwhile for all of us.
I'd like to have the aspirin concession. I know when we're finished that evening, a lot of guys and ladies are moaning and groaning, but it's groans and moans of joy. Well, we'll be back in just a second to share some other information. We'll be right back in just a moment. Stay with us.
One thing that makes our day when we're out here on the field is watching Lauren get up to bat. Our daughter loves baseball, and we tried to get her on some teams, and there were some coaches that would include her, but she just never felt right about it. Hitting the ball and then making the other kids wait just wasn't her idea of what baseball was. We thought she would just have to settle for being a fan until Rotary stepped in, and they built this special field. They took an idea of just letting the kids play baseball and made it fit these kids rather than trying to make the kids fit the field. Lauren forgets about what she can't do because they've given her the opportunity to do something that we never thought possible. When these kids get to play ball, their heart is there. They are so excited, and they just get to feel like regular kids. On the phone, I heard her telling her grandmother that she was the luckiest kid in the world.
Rotary gives people an opportunity to help.
These are the children who had no chance. They're known as Brazil's street kids. They wander the streets dying by the thousands from drugs, AIDS, and bullets. Most of them have been abandoned, left to survive on their own. These children needed a place to go. I had to do something. So I brought it up at Rotary. People heard about what we were doing and asked how they could help. Together, we raised funds to give them a home and open the school. They're learning a trade. Now hundreds of kids have a family and a future. They're contributing to the community because Rotary believes in making things better for everyone.
Rotary is making a difference right now.
They have hope.
Rotary gives people an opportunity to help.
After watching that tape, Rick, I wanted to ask you, we were talking about Rotary in Action, but tell us about how these Rotary clubs have gotten on this bandwagon here in our own community.
Well, back in '95, when we started the organization here in San Diego, I approached our board of directors to see if they would like to get involved in my Rotary Club. Mm-hmm. And they said, yeah, they thought it'd be a great program because it's hands-on, it's pretty well all set up, you know, there's no preparation necessary, and so where you just have people show up. Well, we have done it every year, and we get as many as 60 or 70% of our club showing up for this event. So everybody just really looks forward to it.
And the word got out, I guess other clubs heard about your club and wanted to piggyback on this. Is
That's
that right?
correct, yeah. And now we've got several Rotary clubs here in San Diego, San Diego area, and in this district that are now sponsoring clubs or maybe joining together to sponsor clubs. Absolutely. And I see it as being something that could continue to grow significantly.
Well, speaking of that, Sherry, tell us about how this has evolved, not only just in our own little community, but all over the country.
Well, the figures are mind-boggling. Nationally, since it began in 1988, they've rehabbed over 70,000 homes and nonprofits with the help of over 2 million volunteers, with a market value of over $600 million that has gone back in the community with the donated labor and materials. And locally, since we began our first project in 1996, we have done 180 projects with the help of over 80,000 volunteers. And we just keep growing.
So once the word gets out, you can't stop this. It sounds like it's going to just keep getting larger and larger.
The first year we had to try and get our volunteers, and we had to really knock on doors. Now they come to us in groves. We have no problem. You know, people want to get involved with this program.
And so you have to find more houses, it sounds like. That's a delightful problem.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah, Johnny, where do you think this is going to wind up? How, just on our own community, but maybe all over the country?
Well, I think in the national, they're already trying to establish more clubs in different areas, or more rebuilding together in different areas, and obviously they're going to need a lot of volunteers and a lot of people getting involved in doing the right thing and taking care of their own communities. Mm-hmm. But I just see it getting bigger and bigger every year. It's so much fun and it's so rewarding for all of us. It's something that I wouldn't miss.
It sounds as though that as this continues to grow, you're going to be beating them away with sticks because there's so many homes to do. How do you qualify picking these homes? It must be a difficult process because there's so many homes out there. Rick, how is that done, or anybody?
Yeah. We have gone to the various organizations around, like San Diego Housing Commission and churches and various organizations that work with elderly, disabled people, and get nominations for the homes. And then there are volunteers that go out from the board of directors and visit the houses to make sure that they qualify. You know, there's a certain economic level that they have to be under, and we want to make sure that we can do the project in one day. I mean, it's mind-boggling, Marty, to go out there and see how some of these people have to live because of their economic situation.
Well, some of these videotapes, you start to get tears in your eyes when you see the deprivation that people are in, and it isn't as much the labor that's there. I think you're giving these people hope that somebody really does care.
That's right.
Touching these people's lives must make you all feel like you're 10 feet off the ground when you're finished with it. When it's all said and done, where do you think this is going to wind up? May it go internationally? Let's talk about the international aspect of this.
Yes. We decided a couple of years after we started, we were inviting a club from Rosarito Beach up here to visit us and work along with us. My club and that club together, and we decided to take it internationally. So we've been going down to Rosarito Beach, Mexico, for about the last 5 years, and fixing up schools down there for kids. And again, it's kind of a joint effort that has been just wonderful. This last year we had over 150 people that went down there and spent the weekend.
I know it was one of them, and my wife and I had an absolute ball. I'm sort of curious, if people are watching, could they contact their local Rotary Club and see if there's other parts of Mexico that they might be involved in? It doesn't have to be just in the United States.
That's correct.
Although there are so many homes in the United States that people are having difficult times. So this internationally could grow. There's no ceiling on this, as you're saying.
No ceiling.
Astounding. What would you feel would be the message that you want to share with our viewing audience, Sherry? How would you like to leave a message for people to get involved?
Well, I want to let them know that right now we have affiliates in all 50 states. So they need to know that near them there's an affiliate that they can join.
Great.
And so we can use their help. We're growing, but we need those volunteers.
And I would imagine there's some electrical contractors somewhere in this country rather than just here. I mean, are there other union electrical contractors that maybe if some of them are watching might want to get on the phone?
Rebuilding Together has they always contact the unions and that in the areas that they're in, and they try to get them involved, and we have contractors and electricians across the nation, to my understanding, working on it. I've talked to a lot of guys around the nation, and did you do Christmas in April last year? Yeah. Did you do Rebuilding Together now? Yeah. So we're having a real good time with it. I wanted to as far as your other question goes about where it's going and that, one of the nice things that's happening is because of some of the work that we've done in the past, we get calls not just in April, but we get calls around the entire year from like the aging independent services here in town, and we'll go out and fix if they've got emergencies and those sort of things that they need done right away to to help somebody over a tough time, we'll go out and do that for them too. It's a little, we don't really have the manpower to do it all, 30 of them every month,
Right.
but we go out and take care of emergencies and do that sort of thing as well.
It sounds like this is I guess we'd call it the value added. Tell us about some of the relationships that you've seen with people after we're finished with this. Rick, do you have any thoughts on that?
When some of these homeowners come back into their home after being away, we usually try to get the homeowner away from the house, either outside or just take them away for the whole day. Right. And they come back, and the heart grabber of watching people stand around that've been there all day laboring, and see the tears welling up in their eyes when they see these homeowners come back in. So absolutely moved that, people just have never done this for them before. So it's very rewarding. That's a reward in itself.
That's great, Rick. I just can't thank you enough. Those are the stories that we all appreciate. Let's watch this next shot and take a look at some of these people that have shared their feelings with us.
We're really excited to be out here today with Rebuilding Together with Christmas in April. This is all volunteers, and it's really exciting that we can make our neighborhoods look better one house at a time.
As a council member for this area, this kind of contribution is significant, helping us rebuild the community together. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
On behalf of the County of San Diego, I'm really pleased to be here representing the entire Board of Supervisors to present this proclamation to Susan and the San Diego Association of Realtors and on behalf of Maxine for the renovation project that's going on here.
San Diego Padres continue their excellence in the community, and here's Bob Visas, the president. And Bob, thanks so much for being part of Christmas in April.
Well, Jim, we want to thank you guys for including us. We do obviously a lot of community stuff, but I've done Christmas in April probably 4 or 5 times before, and I think it's a great activity, and then it gets so many people, as you can see out here, involved. And it's amazing what in one day, just by having sheer people with relatively inexpensive materials, what a difference you can make.
I'd like to give you from District 1 in recognition of your distinguished service to San Diego in the field of repairing and rehabilitating the homes of low-income, elderly, and disabled homeowners. And this is terrific work.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Christmas in April for everything that they've done in our community. For so many years now, they've helped out people who really do need a little makeover on their home and a lot of infrastructure that sometimes isn't there because of funds or because of time or just because they're widows who are out there and they can't do all the work themselves.
6th District Council member do hereby recognize and commend Rebuilding with Christmas in April for their hard work and dedication in making San Diego a better place in which to live. And thank you.
Sitting on the board.
We tend to hear about bad news, such as crime statistics and traffic accidents. People want to know about good news, such as things like Christmas in April and how it's transforming 8 homes right here in my district alone, and not to mention the many others throughout the city. There's going to be some very happy people today, as you can see over my shoulder. A little secret about Christmas in April is that it's fun. As you can tell, we're all having fun here. But we're also busy, and when we leave here, there'll be a newly painted and repaired home for this deserving family. And the best part is seeing the look and delight of when these new homeowners come back in and see what we've done.
I'm just so overjoyed. I'm so grateful.
Tengo palabras para expresar lo que siento.
She doesn't have words for what she wants to express, how she feels. She's very, very thankful.
Oh, this is pretty. Gorgeous.
Oh, look at that. Yes, yeah. Yes, Daddy, look at that. I don't know how to say the words that say thank you for everybody.
I want to see my rail, and they put me a railing up.
They're in the process. It still has to be painted now.
Well, I tell you, yeah, I don't see my railing. Oh, that's good. Hey, that's better than I ever had.
Mrs. McLean, there's one over on the right, too.
There's one around the corner here for you to come down the other side.
Hey, I never been there. I don't know when. This side.
Watch your hand there. There's some wet stuff there.
Can't believe it. You're gonna cry down the water. I'm not gonna cry again. Damn it, I'm so thankful. And I love y'all, and I can't. Even my own brothers have been so big to me.
I wanted to let you all know that it's been really a privilege to be with all three of you. Johnny, thank you very much for your time. I know how passionate you are about this, and your union is making a big difference. To you, thank you for your bookkeeping skills, but more importantly, the special stories that you've shared. It's really a delight to be with you here. And to Rick, I can't thank you as a Rotarian enough for all the stuff that you've done. All the behind-the-scenes efforts that all three of you put in are amazing. You know, what I'd like to do is to mention to all three, or the audience especially, that there are phone numbers for Rebuilding Together in every city, almost every city. And if there isn't, I imagine you can dial 1-800 and get an information number for Rebuilding Together. Also, please note that the Rotary Club that will be showing this will have a phone number for you to contact to get involved with the Rotary Club and Rebuilding Together in your own communities. You see, we do make a difference, but you can be with us. So we hope that if you felt moved this evening and you're concerned about helping those men and women in your own communities, that you have this opportunity to pick up the phone and to make sure that you give a special commitment to making a difference in your own town. And whether you're in Des Moines or Anchorage, Alaska, or even in California for that matter, there's always people that need some help. And all we have to do is look for them and volunteer our time, some talent, and maybe a little bit of treasure to make things happen. So with that, I thank all three of you for a very special time together. Wish you nothing but the very best with all of your projects. For that, good evening and have a great time.